Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another live discussion. And today I'm working off of my good camera. So when I look and check and see if anyone is messaging me, I will check out over here. But I'll be talking to the camera today. And so good morning, everybody. It is, what day is it? It's July 22nd, Monday. And today I want to talk about fartleks. So if you're not familiar with the term, I believe it's Swedish, and it's a running term, and it means speed play. Fartlek is basically a way to play with increasing the speed and intensity of your runs without doing it in a programmatic way. In other words, without having a training plan that says, okay, run 2 miles at such and such a pace, and then for a quarter of a mile, run at this pace faster, and then rest for 90 seconds. You don't need to be watching your watch or a stopwatch or getting beeps from a phone. Basically, you sort of run, jog, walk, whatever, and then when you feel like it, you speed up for a bit. So it might be something like, okay, you're going along, and all of a sudden you see a mailbox, and you're like, okay, I'm going to jog to the mailbox. And you put on your speed, and you get to the mailbox, and then here's the important thing. Instead of like at the mailbox going, hands on your knee, hands on your thighs or knees, bent over, lie down to rest, at the end of the fartlek period, you return to your previous pace. So it's a little up and then back, leveling off where you were, not going back down and not staying at that intense pace. So we're not trying to overdo it. We're trying to do something at an increased level of intensity such that when it's over, you can return to steady state. All right, check and see whether this is showing live yet. I don't see it, but hope you can. Oh, you know what? I can check comments here. Hold on a second, so that way I can see if anyone overlays. No recording, my camera, so scene options. I have no idea. Actually, Windows, comments. No comments or reactions. Okay, if you can hear me, love if you just type yes so I know that this is working properly. Oh, you know what? What audio am I using? Am I using, sorry about this. Yeah, this is pretty good, but I'll move this closer to my face, so hopefully you'll be able to hear me better. So why am I talking about fartleks in a discussion? Well, you know, start over. I'm Howard Jacobson. I'm head coach, chief of behavioral science at WellStart Health. And this video is part of a series, a daily series or week daily series designed to help you get healthy, live a better life, reverse chronic disease, get to your ideal weight, break the control that bad habits and urges and cravings have over you so that you can be a free human being. So what does fartlek have to do with that? Fartlek is like, you know, sort of a technical running thing. And here's why I'm interested in talking about it. I see so many people using the equivalent of a fartlek the wrong way on their journey to health. So what do I mean by that? I mean, someone will say, okay, I am going to fast today or this week. And almost always that comes after some sort of binge, or I've been eating poorly, and like the fast is going to be the thing that breaks the pattern. And I'm going to go into it really intensely, and then at the end, I'll be good. Or someone will say, boy, I need to really get out there this weekend. I was overeating. I didn't do much running or exercise during the week. So I'm going to just go crazy this weekend. I'm going to do a 5-hour run or walk or swim or 3 different Pilates classes, 2 spin classes, and an hour on the treadmill. And then what happens at the end of that is a dip. Right? So we've gone up into intensity, and now, especially people who do sort of dieting and fasting, so doing this restriction, which is a kind of a sprint, like, okay, I'm really going to take care of myself this time. I'm really going to overcompensate for the way I was eating before. And what happens is it's part of the same cycle. Glenn Livingston points this out, that restriction is actually part of binging, because after you restrict yourself for long enough, your willpower is weakened, your biology is screaming for food, for nutrients, for calories, for anything, for God's sake. Never mind quality, it just wants something in the body, and therefore it's very easy for the food demon, the inner pig, the survival drive run amok, to overcome our inhibitions and just go and binge. So restriction is the cosine, the other half of the sine wave of binging. And when we go on a fast, after a couple of days on a fast or even skipping breakfast, people can be very vulnerable. And so what we do, we don't go from this period of intensity to steady state. We go from a period of intensity to the equivalent of hands on the thighs at the mailbox, panting, doubled over, and we need to lie down, and we need to call someone to come pick us up because we overdid it. So what if instead of these heroic fasts, and by the way, I'm not saying that fasting is a bad thing. Intermittent fasting, longer fasts, water fasts, medically supervised 14 or 40-day fasts, they all have their place. They're all medicine in the right context. Where they're not medicine is when they are a desperate sprint to somewhere that we can't maintain. So instead of that, let's apply the Fartlek mentality to the rest of our lives. So we can start with it just on our walks or runs. So a lot of people post how embarrassed they are when they start moving and they haven't moved for a while. It's like, oh, my walk, it's so embarrassing. I would hate for anyone to see me. I'm doing a mile in 35 minutes. You know what? Awesome. What's embarrassing would be not to be out there, to not try, to know and not do. You're doing. But how can we apply Fartlek to getting you moving more, moving better, building your capacity? So let's say it's 35 minutes. Let's say next week, aim for 34 minutes and 45 seconds. And in order to do that, you're going to have to do 1 or 2 times of slightly pushing it, slightly discomfort, but only do it to the point where when you're done with that, if it's 10 steps or if it's 100 steps or a quarter mile, whatever it is, and shorter is better when you start, that you can return to your steady state. So you may screw up at first. You may go out too fast and then oh, that was too much. So next time, a little bit less. But the Fartlek mentality is we're always playing with where's the edge we can take it to so that when we return to baseline, we're comfortable. And what that does over time is it creates, on average, a dollar cost averaging new baseline. So all of a sudden now our baseline becomes 34.45. What do you do next week? How about 34.30? Add a little bit more, because if you stay at 34.45, now you've adapted to it. So we can Fartlek it up. We can ratchet it up a little bit, as Josh likes to say. Always slipping back and ratcheting. And how can we apply Fartlek to diet? Well, let's say for one meal, instead of saying, okay, well, now I'm just going to have salad, I'm just going to have raw greens, and then by dinner time you're jonesing for a burger and a beer, then say, well, I'm going to Fartlek this meal. I'm going to have a little bit more raw green than I would have had. I'm going to ask for the salad to be a dinner size, an entree size, rather than just a side salad, and I'm going to have more of it. But I'm still going to eat the other stuff I'm going to eat to satiety, not to gross bloating. But when I'm full, I'm going to stop. And then by dinner, because I haven't done this huge, heroic thing that has caused blowback, I can keep going. I can still have my regular good dinner. So when you're thinking about making shifts, when you're thinking about changing, notice the feeling of overwhelm, the feeling of, oh my God, I got to do something right now. I've got to purge. I've got to get a colonic. I've got to drink 4 quarts of celery juice. Right? And remember that these are sprints that are going to have you gasping at the mailbox and not being able to proceed. Instead, go for the Fartlek. Go for something that's slightly more, but that you can return to and return from consistently to build your capacity and to grow your ability over time. All right, so if this has been helpful, I would love for you to share this with other people. That's how we grow our message and grow the movement. Also today, if you're listening to this today, Monday, July 22nd, 2019, I'd like to let you know about a webinar, and I'll put the webinar link in the comments. There's actually 5 live webinars this week on the 3 high hurdles to weight loss and health. And I'll be talking just about the big mistakes people make when they start on this journey that end up making them feel like failures, and how you can avoid those. And we're going to have guest experts. We're going to have 3 or 4 of the WellStart coaches joining me to talk not theoretically, but from their own experience, how they applied these concepts to make remarkable transformations, dramatic health improvements. And now they've turned around and are doing the, learn one, do one, teach one. They're at the teach one phase. They're helping other people make that same transition through our WellStart Health program. So check that out in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this. Where are you fartlecking? Where are you maybe guilty of a little bit of heroic effort that then leads to a blowback of reduced effort and reduced effectiveness? Love to hear what you think. As always, be well, my friends.